Hey guys. Alright, so in this video we're going to go over a new setup I've been running on my Frostclaw Nova build, and this one is pretty much just focused on getting as much AOE as we can. And so the trade-off here is that I lose a bit of ward and I lose a little bit of crit multi, a little bit of damage. However, the amount of area we're going to be getting is pretty insane. And you can see the overlaps are actually getting closer and closer together. So now, if there is a target that's about this big, then I'm going to be hitting him with all 4 or potentially 5 of my Novas. So compared to my other setup where I'm not running any area, it would only be about 2 or 3 hits on average. So this does increase your single target quite a bit, as well as making your clear really, really, really good, right? So we'll get into the setup, and even though I did lose some damage technically by losing some crit, normally I'm at like 430 crit multi and then about 100% or 99% spell crit chance. Even though I did lose some stats, I do feel like I am actually doing more damage with this setup than when I'm not scaling any area, mainly because of the amount of overlaps we're getting with the Novas, and then we're applying more spark charges with this setup pretty much. So the main downside I would say to the setup is that I did lose a lot of my ward. I'm playing on the low life version, and normally I'm about 9,500 ward stable. So now 7,600, so I've lost about 2,000 ward going into this setup, and that's mainly because I dropped a lot of health. Normally I'm running like full health idols and all this kind of stuff, so I actually do get a lot more ward. So that's the main downside, is I did lose some defense. So there is that. As far as damage goes, it feels like I've actually gotten even more damage for clear. Alright, so if we can take a look here real quick, you can see the explosions that are happening, and we need to kind of take a look at the ones at the very back and the ones at the very end. So the ones at the very right and left, and you notice that the one at the very back, the one behind me, is the explosion when it like procs the big one is like right here, right where this line is. And the one all the way on the left hand side is gonna be like right around where this waystone is, right? So if the target is this big, then we're gonna be hitting him with all 4 of our Novas pretty much, right? And I haven't even scaled the area to the max. I'm missing about 20% in my current setup, just with a couple of optimization. Like some of my idols are like 19%. I'm missing some area on the actual helmet, so you can get quite a bit more. And there's also area you can get on the glove mod, although I didn't really want to drop my Immortal Vise in this setup because this is quite a lot of my defense. So but you can actually get a lot more area than I currently have. Alright, so let's jump into a Monolith. Let's see if we can find a good one. You really notice this area increase when you are doing maps that are very like close quarters. So maybe this one isn't such a good example. Alright, so let's jump into the map, and you really notice the clear a lot more in these kind of like close quarters maps because enemies just bunch up in these kind of areas. I'll level up the frost wall. But yeah, so coverage, clear, pretty good. Let's just see. Oh, this one has enemies have a chance to dodge, so it's kind of annoying. That's like one of the worst Monolith mods, pretty much. But yeah, let's see. We get any kind of cool shrines. We got the rainbow shrine. We did the rainbow shrine for fun. Will this increase my area? That'd be kind of interesting. We just try it. Maybe we can cancel it later if that becomes a problem. But, wow, what is our cast speed? 230, 240? Oh, this is pretty amazing. Anyways, so you can see the area pretty insane, and single target, I can actually use, what do you call it? Frostclaw a bit. I mean, it's still pretty bad. I mean, it's because we have the rainbow shrine, right? But anyways, it's a lot better with this area stuff, I would say, the single target for Frostclaw than when I just had my normal like crit build, where it wasn't scaling any kind of area. Anyways, you can see pretty good, and the coverage is just pretty good. We got this guy. I really hate this guy. He does like tons of damage for some reason, but we can just kill him off with Frostclaw because I think with the Frostwall setup we're using to give us a bit more damage and Lightning Blast procs, as well as all of the basically hits we're getting now. Single target has definitely become quite a lot better with just like a pure Frostclaw setup. You see, this is champion just completely dead, right? So pretty cool setup. And even without that Rainbow Shrine, you're still like deleting these guys. Alright, so let's go into the setup real quick. Not much has changed, and the main gear changes is just an amulet. So we're getting Exalted Area, and then we get the Elemental Nova Area, and then you can get whatever useful stats here, like increased armor, you get ward per second, you get mana spent as ward. And then if you do want to use the gloves, there is an area prefix on gloves. As for the skill changes, nothing really has changed. Nova, I'm just swapping 1 point here into the increased area node over here instead. And then for the passives, for Rune Master, there is this area node here for 24%, but I didn't really think it was worth, so I'm not taking that, but you can actually get more area here. On Sorcerer, the only change is that I removed some points, and now I'm spec'd into Dragon's Breath for the 40% increased area. This also does give you 70% increased elemental damage, which is, quite nice, so it's not just only area damage. Anyways, so that is the main changes, guys, and as for skills, Frostwall, this is how I have it set up. Basically, we get some 14% more damage from the Chill Touch node, and then we have it spec to shoot out Lightning Blasts. Okay, but that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.